it is.
Cool.
Once again, it's Virtual Vino number 40, right here with Jermaine Stone. Jermaine, getting that dough, man.
I'm trying to
Stone,
I'm working on it.
Yeah, man.
Every morning I wake up, that's the first thing I think about. I pray and then that.
There you go. There you go. And speaking of getting that dough, man, we got to give a shout out to this right here. Woo! Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So this right here, we sipping on the Domaine Philippe Plantavon. This right here is so dope. It's a Côte de Rome Village 2016. So it's a dope wine, man. We're gonna get into that, man. That Saint Cecile Côte Domaine, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So man, let's just jump into the thing. So, like you said, cats in different regions. I feel like it was like NY hip hop, you know. So like, wait a minute, y'all doing something down south? Like this is a little down south situation. So like, oh, down south got hip hop too? Okay. So tell me, how'd you get into the situation? Like, what inspired you to get into pair wine with hip hop and just make that whole thing bubble?
Great question. Like honestly, you know, so we were talking a little earlier. I grew up in the Bronx, New York, and if you know the BX, you know it's just you're surrounded by hip hop. So I really grew up submerged in hip hop. I rapped when I was I started rapping when I was like 13, and I rapped all the way up until about 19 years old. And I rapped, maybe a little after 19, like right when I started in wine was when I stopped rapping. But you know, like we all love music the same way. And it's just like, that's one thing, like even now, I never stopped writing. I just don't rap, you know? Right. it's just, it's one of the things, exactly. It's always gonna stick with you. So I just always loved music, but I was doing my thing in the wine industry, and the wine industry really took me in. Wine auctions was very dope. It felt like I was living that on rapper life, but I was in the wine industry. You know, I'm traveling the world. I'm in Beverly Hills. I'm on helicopters from Hong Kong to Macau, type of crazy shit. Like we was doing just all type of crazy stuff. So it felt like I was living that on life, but I was in the wine industry. And I always thought that side of the wine industry would be very cool to show people, but I needed to find a way to make it me. And the wine industry wasn't really like this 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so it wasn't as inviting. It's a very different hue right now. And it wasn't as inviting to just a whole different style. Like it was a very white tablecloth service sort of thing. Right. Everybody drinking old Bordeaux and you know, stuffy ties and shit, like Midtown restaurants. Yeah. That was the wine industry that I came from. So, you know, me rocking a hoodie, they would run for the door. Yeah, like, hold on. They would run for the door, but now, like, this is my day-to-day uniform, you know? So just to go to show you the difference in the wine industry, but, you know, to go back to your question, why blended wine and hip-hop? When I left the wine auction industry, I wanted to find a way to remain unique and to my consulting clients. And I was consulting for like the same people that I've been working with in wine auction. So rich collectors, sommeliers, restaurateurs, like those were my clients. And I wanted to find a way to stay in touch with them. So that was why I started the podcast. So I knew that when we kicked it, we talked about wine and hip hop. So let's do it on the podcast. And that way I'll stay in front of my clients and just continue to be myself. And it was a way that I could be unique. Like at that time, you know, I didn't see anybody around that looked like me. And, you know, moving around in like the New York wine scene, like it was like me and Andre Mack. You know? that was about it. So, you know, I felt like I wanted to find my niche and how I was able to contribute that. So a big part of it was showing the general wine consumer all of the cool shit that we were doing on the back end in wine auction. That was really how it all started, and you know, it grew into this. But to answer your question, I felt like wine and hip hop was like hip hop is that high-end luxury. You know, we like that braggadocious lifestyle. And I saw so much of that on the wine auction. And so I just felt like I sold wine to Jay-Z, you know, like through a wine buyer.
But you did that.
You know, but it fits.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that we jumped out there and put our stamp on it before some people of another hue got out there and claimed it. You know what I'm saying?
And that could happen easily.
Like, look at graffiti.
Yeah. So it's funny you said that. I was just looking at a video because I still like looking at YouTube and video and learning about wine. And so it's always something new to learn. So I just type YouTube stuff every once in a while. And so I forgot who it was, but it sent a bunch of representatives to France to learn about different appellations. And so I was like, yo, they have a graffiti artist, but the ball was white. I was like, I mean, cool, like whatever.
Yeah, nah, so fine. It's just when that's and you know what? It's just because that's what's available to them. You know, like that's what's quick and easy to get to. Is they're not gonna dig and try to find somebody that doesn't necessarily know how to market themselves, and that's why it was important for me to like jump out there but also connect, because maybe I could create some opportunities for other people that's doing the same thing that I'm doing, and you know, to grow the sector of the wine industry the way that I want to grow it. You know.
Yeah. That's true. Because like you're only gonna go as far as your arm's reach is concerned, and that's where they're gonna go. Like I can reach this far. That's the graffiti artist, breakdance artist, the wine and hip hop person. Okay, that's as far as I go. So it's all that comfort zone for them.
Yeah.
So you got to bring it to them.
Yeah, like, and you know, I always wanted to make sure that, you know, I leveled the playing field. You know, I always an old colleague of mine called wine the social equalizer. And it was because, you know, you could sit down and have a glass of wine with somebody, you look at them eye to eye. At that point, already y'all are on the same level. You know, if we're both drinking something fly, you're like looking at me in you're looking at this guy in the hoodie. You didn't think that he was on that same level. I've gotten in conversations with dudes on trains and, you know, and all kinds of different, like people that I wouldn't connect with if it wasn't for wine.
Yeah.
And I feel like hip hop does the same thing, you know, connects all people from all different walks of life.
Absolutely. So you mentioned a couple of times wine auction. For those that don't know, break that down. It's exactly how it sounds.
Yeah. So there's commercial wine auctions, and there's also charity auctions. You know, charity. Okay. Two very different styles, but I come from the commercial wine auction world, and it's exactly that. Basically, it's like, think of it like a high-end sneaker auction. You know, like it's the same way. Like you get people that have access to some dead stock sneakers, you know. So you get people that have access to some like rare and highly sought after wines. You know that they have good reputations, so they're well kept. Right. What a wine auction house does is they connect the buyer with the seller. Okay. And so, you know, I saw customers in a variety of different ways. Like I had to sell their property and I had to sell property to them. So I got to see the life cycle, and we had all different kinds of clients. We dealt with collectors, we dealt with retail, we dealt with distributors, we dealt with people on all ends of the wine industry. So that's what kind of set me up to become a consultant, because for me to be able to service my clients, I needed to understand the background of their business. So that was really how I got into it, you know.
Now, Jermaine, like, were you like up there, like on the podium? Out there? Okay.
Yeah. Now, so I started that like 9 years in. Like I started after like 9 years as a standing bid clerk. So I was the person that stood next to the auctioneer as they were selling. And the standing bid clerk is, they they make sure that the auctioneer doesn't lose track of the bidding level that they are. Like it's when you up there, you just shout numbers out. It's real easy to get lost. And make one also to make sure that you're not missing anyone in the room. You're not missing any of the online bids that would have came in. So that was my job for like 9 years. And then after I transitioned into being an auctioneer, I started to be the guy that was calling all the words out and all that stuff.
Okay. Now, did your MC skills come in handy? You started calling it out?
You know what? That was how I did it. I remember I had a friend, I was because, you know, you got all these like French wine pronunciations. It gets difficult. So a friend of mine told me like, yo, just treat it like you on stage rapping. And as soon as I like went with that approach, I just loosened up, and I also like I realized that again, that was my demeanor on stage was also something that made me unique. There was not going to be another wine auctioneer that was going to walk up and do that.
They got this swagger with it. Yeah.
You know, like, so I dialed into my hip hop side because the wine side came natural, but hip hop was what made me unique in, you know, in the fine wine space that I was in.
That's dope. That's dope. So in your wine kind of journey, what did you start off with? Well, okay, let me just make an assumption. Let me make a gross assumption. I'm from Philly, you from NY, you from the Bronx, I'm from South Philly, B from Mount Airy. Like, was you drinking wine? Was that your first taste of alcohol?
Absolutely.
Okay, I didn't want to make no assumptions. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Hey. Okay.
No, look, I appreciate you giving me that room.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Jamaican, so my first taste was that Ray and Nephew. You know, that was
straight to crack.
that was how we started. You know,
straight to crack. Damn.
Yeah, my first taste with but no, to be completely honest, like I was influenced by. You know, I was a kid growing up watching Biggie and Redman and these guys. I was drinking 40s and stuff with my friends in junior high. You know?
You can appreciate this. Man.
It is. Oh, wow. That's major. Yeah. That's major. Yeah, that was the album. That was the album that had us doing it.
Yep. But, all right. So then we transitioned into wine. Like, what was your first foray into that? Like, what was you sipping on, and what kind of encouraged you to kind of move out of that? 'Cause, you know, a lot of times people go for the sweet stuff, which is cool, but like, what was your first foray into the wine?
You know, it's funny. Like my palate is really weird because I started out in auction at 20 years old. I started out drinking like old Bordeaux and shit. Like that was a lot of my introduction to wine, but I would drink it and in my head I was just like, all right, it tastes like wine. It all tastes the same. And then, you know, I had a wine job. So when I go back home and I'm taking girls out on dates and stuff, I'm ordering my white Zinfandel from Red Lobster, trying to style on them, you know, trying to act like I know something. You know, but so it started out just drinking whatever I would get my hands on because I really didn't know, you know, it wasn't grabbing me like that at first. I just, you know, I liked my job, I liked the people, and I liked connecting with people. So everyone would always try to teach me things. But on my own, I started out just drinking straight bullshit. You know, we all start with Moscato. You know, I bring the sparkling Moscato on them, try to style on them. You know, that was when I was feeling fresh, you know. But no, that was where I started, man. And then, you know, the transition went to Riesling, to actually Shiraz, and then Syrah, and then we was out of here.
Yeah, that's what I love about this particular one. And anything in Côte d'Ivoire is like, that's Syrah influence on it, man.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
Nice full body.
Yeah.
You know, Nah, that's some of my favorite wine. Like that's one of my go-to reds.
Yeah. I'm slowly starting to turn, you know, into a fan. Like I've been trying to force myself to kind of get away from kind of my usual suspects. So, I'm usually like a cat. Like if I'm just my everyday table wine is like some cab. Like I just like cabs. And so I think I might have to just go ahead and make this my everyday joint. Like, and particularly this one is really, really dope. That's why I want to connect with the vineyard, because I want in the winemaker just to kind of learn a little bit more. Because this is so dope. I know one thing they always kind of talk about, particularly with the Syrah, is that it's the earthiness, and that's one thing. Well, I ain't gonna get into the. See, I'm giving away some of the tasty treats.
Yeah, you gotta hold back some. Hold back.
You're like, hold on now.
Yeah, that's part of the wine and music pairing part of it. So for those of y'all don't know, we pair wine with music, but we use music as a way to teach you about wine, and really just to kind of, why I love this particular bottle, because it actually has all the information on there about the wine. So if you're just walking in the store and you pick up this bottle and you read it, you can walk away and make a decision about this wine based off of some of the things you learned today, and you can apply those to when you're purchasing wine. So you're like, oh, wait a minute, I remember that song, I remember that term. Oh, that's what that means. That's what I'm going to expect. And so, yeah, I'm gonna hold off from getting into the earthiness though, because you're like, earthiness, like what the hell does that have to do with the taste? I want to taste earth. Like, I want to sip that. Do I want to smell that?
Yo.
You never know until you try.
Never know.
Earthiness works well with pairings, man. Like that, food pairings with other pairings.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The earthiness, it all goes together. Like,
yeah.
So definitely, always a strong co-sign on my side.
Yeah, man. Matter of fact, I know we have so many questions, and I might jump ahead, B. But you want to get into like one? You set up like one parent. We can tease them with one parent. You good with that?
I'll allow it. No.
All right, thank you. That's the governor. That's the governor right there. So
I see it, man. I see it.
Yeah.
I got some of your Bronx representatives over here.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I could spot that Uzi a mile away.
We got
hilarious, dude.
We got the OG right here.
Wow, yo, remember when people was rocking goggles like that?
Hell yeah.
Goggles to the side, on the side of your head.
Yeah, man.
The ski goggles.
And you got Pun, then you gotta have Joe.
Gotta have Joe.
Yes, gotta have Joe.
Yeah, man.
Legend.
And you rocking them goggles, and it's like 90 degrees outside. It's not even winter.
And you got some of that sound view in the house.
Oh. Yeah. He took it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So just jumping into a little bit of the tasting right here. Once again, we got this Domaine Philippe Pointevin. Got the Côtes du Rhône Village 2016 vintage. And so it's a Saint Cecile. This thing right here, if you just get the bottle, right, you're reading it. They say the wine is produced in the south of Rhone Valley, next to Appellation, with 40% red Grenache and 60% Syrah. The wine shows pure sense of wild blackberries. It has lavender, wild strawberries, thyme, rosemary. Flavors are intense and delicate. So how can something be intense and delicate? It might be something that jumps out at me at the same time. It's kind of like an oxymoron. Beautiful extraction of red fruit, violet. Earth tone is in the finish, similar to some of the great style wines out of Côte du Rhône. So this right here, if I was walking into the store, like I said, for me, when you talk about the aroma, right? You start, what's you sipping on, by the way, over there?
Oh man, this is, I'm drinking a bottle of Jean, can't really see the label, this light is kind of screwing it up. Yeah. But it's a bottle of Jean-Marie Fourier Bourgogne Blanc from 2016.
Okay.
And this is something that we got right now. This is a producer that I'm working with. This is just fire. This is his only white. He's a legendary Burgundy producer. This is his only white wine. It is a Bourgogne level, but it's from Côte de Nuit, so that just in itself is, it's just cool to have a Chardonnay from Jean-Marie Fourier. This guy's like a legendary Burgundy producer.
Nice. Well, we'll tell you this, John, with the aroma with it. Like they said, it's beautiful and intense. And so kind of what does that mean, or what can you expect from an aroma standpoint? What are you going to smell on the nose? It's funny because we started talking about the earthiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And particularly Syrah from that region. It has that kind of, to me, it reminds me of like black olive. Like it's definitely of the earth. But this is like a medium intensity, like medium plus. It's definitely, it can be pungent. It definitely could be pungent if you let it breathe a while. But at minimum is medium plus, kind of on the intensity side of it. And like I said, the aromas, you definitely get the herbs. This thing, what's up, Coviello? What's up, good sir? You definitely get the herbs in here. Speaking of blowing trees. Well,
see, I was all discreet with it.
I mean, I ain't got no sponsor. I'm cool. So for me, like I said, the aroma, it definitely is definitely like jumps out at you. I don't know, it's probably from a music pairing standpoint, we always, I'm back on pairing anything that has aroma that's medium plus or that's really pronounced is definitely music that has like definitely driving bass, definitely aggressive. All that fuckery that happened last week down here in DC. I'm kind of back on my protest music, John. So for me, I had to go with Tribe, We the People. Punch you right in the face, like that beat, but just that drop, boom.
Yeah.
And the rhymes, pungent.
Yeah, that's why they started the album off with this one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You gonna let that ride a little bit. You sip it up. Cheers to you, brother.
Cheers. Thanks again for having me on.
We the people. So we in the rear, yo, we don't need it. You in the killing off good young nigga mood. When we get hungry, we eat the same fucking food. The ramen noodle. The simple noodle. So maniacal, reliable, the full of juju. The irony is that you can't be similar. She don't love me, she make money, she gon' study that. She gon' give it to me, ain't gon' tell me how to that. She gon' make the brain of where the place sit on that. Put yours aside with it. Don't try to rhyme with it. VH1 has a show that you can waste your time with. Guilty pleasure, take the edge off reality and mortality. I'm not doing that sporadically.
You ever seen them in concert?
Nah, man, I wish. Yo, it's sad, but I've been to like a handful of concerts.
Yeah.
I wasn't a concert guy until like later in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely been to my fair share of concerts. That was like my thing. But yeah, they put on the show. Thankfully, I saw them a couple of times before Fife passed. Rest in peace, Fife dog.
Yo, that's a blessing, man.
Yeah, man.
That's definitely a blessing. Yo, Fife killed that album.
Didn't he?
That last album?
Yeah.
We not just nigga rappers with the bars. Excuse me that we conflict with the stars. You guys is overlooking street art, better yet street smart, but you keep us on the chart. Some of the fucking numbers in your statistician. Fuck you know about true competition.
Oh, shout out to D Nice. Checking in. What up, homie?
We got to make some shit and rubbing on a little kitten, viewing up the people for women with religion. Boy, I tell you that's Asian. Like Tony Romo when he hit with it.
So, it's a big debate, right? Top Tribe albums. You going Low End Theory or you Midnight Marauders, dude?
Midnight Marauders, man. That was just, I feel that. Like, even just saying that right now, I get a little chill, man.
Yeah.
That was that one.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that was their album that just solidified, like, yo, their greatness.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's, dare I say, that might have been their magnum opus. Like that was the one.
Yeah, man.
I think B is a Low End Theory guy. Hey, B, you Low End Theory?
Ooh, yeah. I go back and forth, but I think I'm Midnight.
Okay.
Because Lyrics to Go is like my top 1 or 2 favorite songs, like all time.
Ooh.
So yeah, I gotta go with that album then.
I'm gonna keep it real though. That last album stood up.
Oh yeah.
The last Tribe album stood up, man. That was a great album. Like, and I mean, for it to be post-mortem for Fife, and he standing out like that. I mean, and it was just a great album. Busta Rhymes was bodying shit. It was crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everybody did their thing. Consequence on there.
Killed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely was not disappointed.
Where Q-Tip was like, he was talking to Fife beyond the grave. Mm-hmm. I forget the name of the song, but that was like verse of the year.
Yeah.
That was like verse of the year, bro. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the song, but definitely fire.
In anything Q-Tip production, man, he don't get enough credit. And he low-key produces a lot of stuff. I mean, think of the mob stuff he produced. Like, and the Nas, like, dude.
There was a Pusha T song called FIFA.
Oh yeah, I know this on FIFA. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Q-Tip did that.
Yeah.
Q-Tip, I mean, that beat, insane.
Yeah. Well, he was signed, Q-Tip low-key was signed to Good Music for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he definitely took advantage of that production time.
he had that fever in the tongue. You're like, no, don't send that one out. We're not gonna send that one out. We're gonna save that for Push's album.
That one stays right here.
Yeah, man. What you got on your side, B? Or you got a question?
As far as the aroma, and this is kind of a complex wine. Like you just let it breathe, and then it starts. That's when you start picking up all the other notes, because like it hits you right in the face with that, with the wild strawberry, the wild currant, and wild fruits are usually smaller than I guess what you get in the supermarket, but like the aroma profile is a lot more intense and it's a lot richer as far as the the antioxidants and vitamins and whatnot. But it's also you got that that herbalness. Not that kind of herbal, but you got the thyme and the rosemary, and you got some hints of lavender. So when I'm thinking like song wise, something that kind of starts out like hitting you in the face, and then kind of has some subtleties and some complexity into it. I wanted to honor this brother that just passed. Well, his announcement of his passing was just just made, but Doom passed, Halloween, but for some reason they kept that a secret for 2 months, which is crazy. But I wanted to kind of honor him in a way, and also blend this in together with the wine. So I picked hoe cakes because it starts out with that beatbox hitting you in the face, and then got the Anita Baker sample in there, and then the beatbox of what he flipped for it was just like, oh wow, that was just a mind fuck. So we're going with hoe cakes, MF Doom, R.I.P.
R.I.P. MF Doom, man.
Yes, sir.
So they're hitting you in the face right now.
In check. I got this girl and she wants me to duke her. I told her I'll come scoop her around 8. She said, that sounds great. Shorty girl's a trooper. No matter what I needed to do, she'd be like, on his own throne, the boss like King Cooper. On the microphone, he lost the ring. Average MCs is like a TV blooper.
Yeah, it's crazy that he died on Halloween.
Out with the ruler. I let her get an outfit. Just to pull her off.
Masked man.
Yeah, man. And like you said, it's crazy that you're able to keep that secret for like 2 months. Like, Let me just know what he say. How did he pass? Was it COVID?
I heard it was COVID related, but
look like a black Wookiee when his beard grow weirdo. Brown skin always kept his hair low.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine for his people, they had to like relive that whole thing twice.
Some say the eyes, some say the
Because then you got people hitting you up like, oh my gosh, I can't believe.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He's another one that put on a hell of a show too.
So I heard. I've also never seen an MF Doom show.
Yeah. It used to be this show. It used to be this traveling tour called Rock the Bells. And he was on that like on the B stage. Crazy. He was taking time away from cats on the main stage.
Most cats treat her like a whore or beat her to a super.
So you used to be hitting old shows, huh?
Yeah, that was my thing. So it's funny, I was on radio, and so that was kind of part of it. It was like, you always had to do shows, whether you was hosting, I had shows when I was in school, in Arkansas, and that type of thing. Yeah, it was crazy. Well, shout out to Miss Matthews. Thanks for joining us. We got some people from London town joining us. Yeah.
I love the UK. Yeah.
Love
the UK.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm forgetting the name of her situation. But she actually interviewed you back in the day.
Oh yes. Yo, that was so dope.
Yeah.
So dope.
If y'all got questions, definitely drop them in the chat. We'll get to them. We're going to proceed with the proceedings as we continue, for sure. So, all right. So, fast forward. You're in the wine game. Kicking off the original Wine and Hip Hop show, podcast. Then, you hook up with the Wine Avengers. Tell me about that adventure.
Yeah, man, that was just like, we was all just out. We was out at the same time doing our thing, and it was like a natural group, all of us just coming together. We would kind of chop it up a lot. Yeah. It was just natural for us to get together and do our own thing.
Yeah. That's super dope. Super
dope. Man. And then, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So y'all gonna continue?
Everybody's like doing their own thing, man. Like we all got our own. It's so busy. Everybody got their own movement. You know. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, I got a whole big plate with 21 that we trying to eat.
So tell me about that plate. I want to skip past 2020. We're gonna get to 2020 because that's a whole topic within itself. So after we get back there, we're gonna talk about 2020. So let's talk about 2021 and what's on that plate and kind of the progression.
Yeah, the progression for us is just gonna be going more visual. Okay. Like the entire time we've been doing this, we've been recording everything. Down to like, going to Italy. When we first started the company, to a ton of podcasts. Like when we started recording the podcast, it started out as visual, but it was just so much to edit the visuals. I'm like, fuck it. I want this thing out now. We go on audio, and audio picked up. So visual got put to the back, but we've always continued recording. Yeah. So, a lot of our next thing, and this is actually the first time I'm talking about this. Our next thing is Wine and Hip Hop TV. Oh. Which is like, it's a deeper look at the stories within our podcast. So, so many of our first episodes, like we knew the guests, like on a personal level. Mm-hmm. So I'll, kind of dive into some of those stories a little bit. Like one of the episodes we have is with Tony Rock. And there's a little joint backstage where we like freestyling, So it kind of shows a little bit of and like people don't like see Tony Rock rap, what I'm saying? Right. But dude could spit.
Oh, we got bars.
Stone got bars. So, it was just but it is still the podcast. Like we still giving you the meat of the podcast, but you also getting the visuals along with it. No doubt. So right now it's probably gonna be dropping like next month. Okay. But there's a chance that the first episode could be out before the end of the month. But okay, you can definitely look for it in February. And then I also have a vlog coming, which is gonna detail a lot of, again, there's so much more video with like just the shit. Like people always ask like what I do, and I can't tell you what I do in one breath. I connect wine and hip hop in a lot of different ways. So the vlog shows all of the different ways that I've been connecting wine and hip hop. Yeah. Super dope. So so this year is just about the visuals, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
editing is a lot, bro. Oh my gosh.
B is our editor. He's our in-house editor, so he knows the pain. He knows the pain. That's like putting out
That's
that
why he
audio.
drinks. He like, let me drink.
For sure. But yeah, so going back to the wine a little bit. So this particular wine, wine from Côte de Rome, that has like the oldest vineyards in France, or one of least some of the oldest vineyards in France.
Yeah.
And some of the boldest red wines. So I'm always curious. I don't know if you like me. I try not to be critical of the new school MCs, right?
Mm.
I try my best. And it's something like you had Davies, you had East on the other time.
Yeah.
Dope. Rocks with East heavy. So I try to let the young boys have their lane, because quite frankly, my old heads when I was coming up was kind of ishing on our stuff too. Like they were just kind of like,
that's how it goes.
Yeah, like what is this? Why y'all cussing so much and y'all just talk about blowing trees and blah 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 blah? Like y'all not dropping any conscious rap.
The baggy pants. The baggy pants was such a thing.
Right. So being as though, that region has the oldest vineyards, and we applying this kind of new school view and lens on wine tasting, what if you had a magic pairing of an old school artist with a new school artist, who would it be?
Oof, damn, that's a good one, man. Old school artist with a new school artist. Let me think. Favorite old school, Slick Rick. Slick Rick is, and I'm gonna think about this question as it goes. Y'all gonna hear the thought process loud. But I love Slick Rick. I just feel like he's never been whack. Like Slick Rick has been nice for every era. Like his rhymes from the 80s, you could play them now and it's still hard, like today. Yeah. So it would be dope to hear Slick Rick with YBN Corday. Ooh. I think that would be hard. Ooh. Slick Rick with YBN Corday, because YBN, he has that old soul, and he could tell a story. Yep. So I think Slick Rick would make him step his game up, which would be dope to see. Yeah, that would be dope.
What about you, B? You got something? You got a parent for that? Old school, new school. So I got one.
Well, I'll say like Nas definitely did it, like off his album. Like they weren't the parents I was thinking of. Yeah. But the one you got was like with Lil Durk and and Ferg. So I was like, okay, that's some reaching back out. Yeah. And Fivio. Yeah. I gotta think about that. I was lunching.
Nah,
yo, that question caught me off guard. I was like, hold
up. Yeah, I put my pencil down. I didn't think the teacher was gonna call on me.
I tell you, since I came up with the question, I had time to think about it. I just been rocking with so much Griselda lately. Like,
yeah,
I would love to see Kool G rapping Griselda.
Well, they
got something. They got something.
But they got Rose to Riches 2021, because that's what I want.
Nah,
man, they got a song together. I think it's on one of West Side's projects. He got like 30 of them.
They run with this guy named 38 Spesh, and 38 Spesh got a whole project with Kool G Rap. That shit was fire. Yo, G Rap is another artist who's always been nice. Like
always.
He can, G Rap, this dude said, I'm Captain Kirk with the work, I control the enterprise.
Yes. Yeah.
That was like, and that's like the other day, like G Rap is still nice.
Yeah. He don't get enough credit either. That's the other thing. Like from that era, he kind of gets forgotten about a little bit. Like, he don't get his roses like that. G
Rap could go real dark. The thing is, he was a real goon.
Yeah, right.
Like, he was a real certified goon. So I honestly think that he just didn't fit into the politics with a lot of people, But he has some rough stuff, man. G-Rap went some dog places, bro. Like
that's why I like that. That's why I like them two together. Like,
that One of Dead or Alive album was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
But let me give you a little something. Let me go with Lil Baby and Big Boy.
Whoo, that would be hard.
Wow.
With organized noise on the production.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Stamp that. That might be the best one. Right? Stamp that.
Yeah, we gotta put that on the album.
Yeah.
Let's speak it into existence.
Yo, look, real talk. It's my dream to put together like a DJ Khaled type album, where I'm just doing this. Where I'm putting together like just dope people. You know, because like I know a lot of dope artists that are still on the come up. I know some producers that, you know, are on the come up and doing dope shit. Like I'm gonna find a way to have these guys influenced enough by wine to make music. And watch that. And mark my words.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
Make that happen, bro. I'm there, but that's a purchase. I don't even want the hookup, but I want purchase.
But yeah, I just gotta get this wine stuff out of the way first, you know.
This little thing.
Few wine brands to launch, couple shows to drop, and then we'll get there.
Then you get there. Speaking of wine things,
we'll host a launch party.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's get this last round of pairings out of the way too, so we can get to some more bars and more conversations. I definitely want to talk to you about 2020. I mean that thing right there. I had to let that thing have its own situation.
That's yeah, that was rough.
But you know, the whole reason why you purchase a bottle of wine is so you can drink it. So let's talk about the palate, right? On this one. Me again, looking at the label, reading it, what jumped out at me was where they talked about the finish. And they said it has a earthiness to it. And so if somebody purchasing a bottle of wine, I'm like, what the heck is that? You might, if you joined early on, somebody explained earthiness to me early on, and they explained it this way. And I'm glad I started off thinking about it like this, because it made it easier for me to kind of understand and have an appreciation for it. They were like, basically, when you see that, don't think of sweetness, don't think about spiciness or the floral notes or nothing like that. Like you're not gonna get fruit or nothing like that. Like it's the opposite of all of that. And think about it, like you see words like barnyard and all that kind of stuff. Like the one description for me, what's up, King Block Dean? Is beats. I ain't talking about Beats by Dre. But think about when you eat a beet. Like people say it tastes like dirt. And it's not a bad way. It's just like you think of like the dirt. You think about the earth. And so that's kind of for me when I think about earthiness, it's like, okay, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not, you're just not going to get that necessarily those kind of those floral taste or that fruitiness at all. And this, not like I said before, this particularly to me reminds me of black olives and the brine from the black olive. I happen to be an olive head, like I love some olives. And then the finish on it, I would say they didn't describe it here, it's short. So it doesn't stick around for like a super dope long time. It's like a real short finish. But for me, from a musical standpoint, I had to think of something that was just as grimy, just as dirty, since we're talking about the earth and the dirt. So I first, you know, I was going to go with like Earth Gang, speaking of new school artists. Something real, then I was going to go with the Roots Organics. But then I thought about, let me just take an old school, somebody in NY, because, you know, we rocking with an NY representative. So I had to go with this, man, Onyx. Throw your guns in the air. Don't get no grimier than that. Don't get no dirtier than that.
Don't get no grimier than that. Yeah, that was my favorite group back in the day, bro.
Yeah, man.
It's time to get live like a wire. I said I won't wire on fire. On the grill, shot still in your grill to try
mixtape, she ripped everything out of it. Like she found it in my underwear drawer. Yeah. I found that shit on my bed when I came home from school with all the black stuff ripped out of the tape.
Oh, let me tell you, man. I think that tape got a lot to tape. Not clean, but had to tape. Yeah, man. That is crazy.
Yeah.
They were like super blind. Like, they made me look at the rubber back looks like old.
Yeah, they was dark.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm thinking about how old I was when I was listening to this. I'm in like 3rd grade.
Right. Like, what am I doing with these lyrics? You know this
Black vagina finder? Like, this is what these guys are talking about. Like, I got kids now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's funny you say this. I got a young one, and I was in the whip with him the other day, and I know I was playing. That's all. I was playing like Bill Withers in the whip. Then when I was time with him, like I try to play different music. So like, all right, we're gonna listen to hip hop today, and I was struggling. I was like, ugh. But that's how I ended up with the KRS pick. Ended up playing some early KRS. Yes, he was just rocking out to it. It was in that thing was Step Into My World album. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Like rocking out to the joint.
Yo, I gotta say, you know what? I'm gonna keep it real, man. Well, how old is your son?
He's 2.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My son is 14, man. I gotta. He hears it. He hears it all. I educated him with Wu-Tang.
Okay.
You know, like
Wu-Tang love the kids.
I was about to say Wu-Tang for the children.
Yeah, Wu-Tang is definitely for the children. I had to like create a strong foundation for him, you know.
Yeah.
So,
salute you on that. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to make sure that he starts off with the 80s and the 90s. Like that's gonna be your foundation, bro.
Yeah.
And then it's cool if you like what you like. Like, you know, we all around the same age. So like we talk our ish about the new school, but at the same time I can respect and appreciate it. There's a lot of dope stuff out there too. But, you know, you just opine and kind of wish, you know, that you got them old school boom bap bars more readily available. And not have to like really like search it out. Like you just turn on the radio, you hear some boom bap. But I need to make sure that foundation is boom bap. And then you want to listen to all that new stuff? Good, man.
Exactly. Like when you think about how influential the music our parents listened to was to us, like it's just crazy. My son was like raised on Young Jeezy and Jay-Z. You know, like you gonna be growing up saying like, yeah, those are the kinds of artists my dad listened to growing up. Yeah, like it's just wild the times we live in, man.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. What you got over there, B?
Well, this is I wish I had my drop set up, but that's on the controller because I'm about to go a little deep cuts.
Oh, you about to go deep on it?
Yeah. So the first how like the Côte d'Ivoire region was like back in the day, the Romans during the Roman Empire, they used to use that as their kind of like the main thoroughfare, to get to Spain and just for them to expand. So the Romans were actually the first people to start planting vineyards in the Rhone Valley, and the Rhone Valley, the Rhone River itself starts in the Alps, which is about 500 miles away, and it empties out into the Mediterranean. Now, this particular wine, the Philippe Plantavan, that's in the southern region, like Saint Cecile. That's in the southern Rhone region, which is more known for its Grenaches. But it's like a 60-40 mix, where it's 60 on the Syrah side, which is more associated with the northern region of Rhone, as opposed to the southern region. So it has like it's a southern wine with a northern flavor to it. So
where you going with this?
I thought about this, musically. I was like, this might be a little layup right here. At first, I thought about the Clips. It's a southern act that but they got like kind of say the up north flows.
Yeah.
But I say let me go a little further south. Let me see what I can do. So I went with Little Brother, The Listening.
That was yeah. My man went Dame Lillard range right there.
Yeah,
Yo, I love Little Brother, man.
Yeah, man. Little Brother's dope. What up, everybody on IG? What's up, Ep1? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for rocking out with us. What up, Big Sis?
See, I can get with this show, man. This show's for the hip hop heads.
Oh, yeah. We go deep in the crates, man. That's why this man's deep crates. You see the albums in the back. The albums. And that's
real.
Vinyl.
That's real. That's dedication right there.
Yeah, man. That's a sneak peek. I thought he was. I remember my man from Atlanta who got up north flows too. Oh man, Nick Grant. I thought another one could be Nick Grant for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that kid Nick is nice, man.
Yo, there's a lot of ill people out right now, man. I gotta say.
Yeah.
I mean, every era has your soft MCs, you know, and I don't mean soft as in soft, but
right.
Like the bars ain't there.
Yeah, it ain't there. Yeah. That's not why they popular. They fuck
Yeah. And then when you listen to some stuff, like there's even artists that we love that weren't that lyrical. Like a lot of what they were spitting was creating pictures. It was so visual.
Yeah.
But the flows are so different now. These guys, they trying to do visual stuff, but it's hard. The flows are a lot harder to follow now.
Yeah. All right,
like layman.
Let me ask you this real question. I had this thought the other day. Why did we like DOS effects and Fruitnickers? I mean, and I love DOS. Like I knew every word to every song. Like I was a DOS effects head. But we criticize new school cats. But if we really think about it,
it's true. It's right there. That's exactly what they was doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they was doing, man.
Yeah. I mean, I love some boom skiggity boom, huh? Like, hey.
Yeah, what'd you say about DOS?
There was a lot of that happening.
I was saying, like, why do we criticize new school cats for their type of mumble rapping flows? But I mean, we really, and we was in high school at the same time when DOS came out. Like, we love some DOS effects.
Yeah.
The thing that they got swept up in was all the imitators. Like DOS themselves, they was cool. But then whenever folks try to do the same tongue twisting stuff after them,
yeah.
Okay, now it's starting to get a little played. And they just got swept up in it. But DOS themselves, they was fire.
What were they saying?
Hey, like, to this day, I still have no idea what Camp Lo was saying.
That's true too. Camp Lo's another one.
Yo, yeah.
I have no idea what they're saying. It sound hot, but I have no idea what they're saying.
Like what was that? Bottoms up, sunshine. Love potion number 9. What? In the Magic City.
Yeah. London, Bora Bora. Yeah, man.
Relaxation in Bora Bora. Like, come on, bro. What are y'all talking about? But it was hot though. It was hot.
It was.
It's like a string of words together that just sound good.
Oh man.
It was just scatting.
Yeah, that's wow.
That's what it sounds like.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, fam, we appreciate and respect your time, man. Tell us about 2020, man. Tell us about your plans going into it. Like we all had plans going in.
Oh man, yeah. Yo.
And then watch for the hook.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like 2020, well, coming into 2020, I'd come off. So I told you, like, this is one of the producers that my company worked with. Like, you know, with my consulting clients, I worked with a lot of Burgundy. Like I was helping people to import wine from France and like overseeing they shipments. So I would like talk to their plugs for them and then oversee the shipment from it going from the plugs warehouse into their cellar, organized by region, by description, and like, you know, organized based on what they should start drinking versus what they shouldn't, I would do that. But that slowed down when the tariffs came in. Once the tariffs hit, that just killed all my business from France. So then I came in on 2020 like, all right, let me double down and, you know, sell this wine. As far as the wine and hip hop, we're going to do our first episode of Wine and Hip Hop live. It's going to be fire. We're going to do the podcast and with a crowd of just like 30 people, real intimate. That was the plan going into 2020. Pandemic hits. Anything live is out of the question. My wife is a doctor, so our household got flipped upside down. On top of that, my daughter was going. My child care provider is the same person that was taking care of my mother-in-law. So my daughter couldn't go to my mother-in-law anymore to for her, you know, to go there for daycare. So I had to take care of her. And I mean, everything just got turned upside down for me within 3 months. Like, you know, 25% of my company's income just cut off. And I got to work from home and I got to take care of the baby. It was just crazy, man. Like, and you know, to be completely honest with you, bro, like that shit had me just trying to figure out, like, where do I go from here? Because, you know, when you get your legs cut off like that, like, what are you going to do? You know, so grinded, and I just focused on the content, focused on the craft, and we pivoted the business to really do our events online. You know, it was funny, we literally just did our episode of Wine and Hip Hop live. Like that was supposed to happen at the top of 2020, happened at the bottom. You know, but aside from that, I started doing a lot of like just online activations for different wine brands, different wine distributors. I was doing a lot of that stuff like on like Good Day Sacramento, Good Day Houston, like doing like wine and hip hop pairings on a bunch of those things. And that was how we started to pivot our event business. Instead of like going and doing events, we were doing things online. We doubled down, did more shows, and God is great. Like I was getting more press during that time. So it just helped to turn everything up even more. And at that time, that was when we were really digging in on a lot of the content stuff. So like the pandemic shut everything down for us. It shut down production of all the visuals that we get now. Like we really just like retooled ourselves in the summer and got things going. But there was like a good 3-4 months where just nothing happened, man. I was just trying to get my house right.
Literally. Yo, salute to your wife too, man. She on the front lines of that, man. That's love and respect, man. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Nah, so it was crazy. It was crazy in my house for a minute, man. But we good now. Everything is straight.
Listen, bro. No, I think we were kind of the same way. Like we, you know, our thing was so event based, and like we were popping. We had just things lined up, and then once that thing hit, it like cut everything out for us. So it was the same. Like, we kind of took a huge step back. Like we was off the scene for a second. We was just like, what the hell? And that's when we just like, all right, it's time to get back in the game. Like, all right. Like you said, just trying to figure it out. I don't think nobody was expecting for us to be doing this at this time. Like, you're like, it'll be like a month or two. And we'll be back at it.
Exactly. Like, we still here in our house.
We kept pushing the events back. Like, okay, all right, this is scheduled for April. We're going to do it for June just to be safe. All right, then.
Like, it should definitely be over by June.
It's like, boom, that was it.
Nah, I got so nervous to even try to schedule anything because, like, I just kept seeing it happen, you know, like, and then my wife, she would tell me, my wife is like crazy with the CDC guidelines and staying up on what's going on. So, you know, she was giving me the word, like, just don't even think about doing nothing live right now. It's a wrap.
Yeah. We should have, like, we had our whole tour set up. Like every other week we was doing something. We had the whole tour set up, like months. We had our whole year basically scheduled.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we was on tour. And it was like, nope. So we just kind of kept pushing it back. Like, nah, it's cool. We just re-up the next month. And like one of our parents, like we do anniversary albums. The anniversary albums in 2020.
Yeah.
Was like, what was some of the joints? What were some of the joints? It was like Kendrick Lamar.
I remember the Mobb Deep joint.
Yeah.
Mobb Deep. We had Ray. We had Cuban Links. We had we still had to do this somehow. The LL Cool Rose for Mama Said Knock You Out.
Yeah.
We had, it was like Mama's Gun and Brown Sugar. And we were doing, I guess we were doing the Dead President soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's just to throw it back.
Ooh, amazing soundtrack, man.
We had like a few. And
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, man.
Yeah, man. Straight out of the crib, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
But we're gonna do a little something like a little half a year tour or 3/4 year tour because
yeah,
I've
man.
been researching. I ain't shared with you yet, but I've been doing the research on it. So
they said that like by the second half of the year, we allegedly should be that just mean by third quarter we could do something.
Right. Right.
And I think now's the thing is like you're gonna have people on both sides of the extreme where people are itching to get out and do stuff, and the other folks that say, you know what, I'm not even trying to be around nobody at all.
Yeah.
So it's gonna still like split the crowds up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do believe, bro, man. Once this thing is over with, we're gonna catch that Amtrak, hop in the whip.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna touch down at NY for sure. We're gonna build, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, look, man. I might have to get y'all in some of this content, man. I might have to send a car for y'all or something, man. Come up to New York, come shoot some shit real quick.
Hey, man, let's do it. Let's do it for sure. We here for that.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Definitely.
We salute, man. Salute for your grind. Salute for your hustle, man. Salute for what you're doing. How you an innovator, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. We're gonna send you out on some hometown.
So you're a philosopher? Yes. Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Yes, sir.
Your BX out here.
Very deeply.
Cheers. Thank y'all for having me, man.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to say,
this is a beautiful hour.
Let's begin. What, where, why, or when? Well, let me explain like instructions to a game. See, I'm not insane. In fact, I'm kind of rational. When I'm asking you, who is more dramatic? This one or that one? The white one or the black one? Black one. Then I'll jump up to attack one. This one is just the guy with the crew. Right up to your face and diss you. Heavy and stormy on the last album cover. Holding a pistol, something far from a lover. Beside my brother, S-C-O-T-T. I just laugh. This is lecture number 2.
Shout out to the good
Number 1 was poetry. You know it's me. My philosophy. I'm not flammable. I don't burn. So you stop burning and learn to earn respect. Cause that's just what chaos. See what you expect when you rhyme like a salt pump. You walk down the street and get jumped. You gotta have style. Original. And everybody's gonna wanna diss you.
Appreciate you. Shout out to London Town.
Yes.
We gotta connect. Get you on the too.
Yo, she's one of my favorites, man. She's dope.
A lot of suckers,
man. 8 hours ahead, that's love.
I'm knocking out the words in a second. That you should get loose. I haven't come to tell you I got juice. I just produce, create, innovate on a high level. I'll be back, but right now just sample.
We're gonna stop the recording, y'all. Deuces. Vino the Rhyme. My man 40 on the 40, Jermaine Stone. Rock
Appreciate
on.
y'all.
No
Yo,
doubt.
peace, guys.
Peace, God.